Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Today, I wanted to share a new Kizer knife with you guys from their Vanguard series, which is their more value price line. And these are going to be under 80 bones, some of them under 70 bones. And I think from my experience with it, it may be my favorite value knife this year for a couple of reasons, and we'll get into those. But they come in I think 3 different configurations with 2 different blade steels and 3 different handle options. So this particular one is Richlite with a 14C blade, and this one is G10. I think it's an Amazon exclusive in AEBL, and they also have an aluminum handled 14C 28N one like the Richlite, and Micarta as well, if I'm not mistaken. But what makes the Seagull unique for me and so desirable, in my personal opinion, is it's a light knife with amazing ergos first and foremost. We'll look at those closer in a second, but it's also a multi-deployment knife. So it's got a traditional flipper tab if you like traditional flippers. It's got a very well done front flipper if you like front flippers, and it's got a deployment hole if you like hole deployment. So it kind of covers all the bases there, from that hole deployment to flick to the all 3 are right there. And you've got these contoured either G10 or Richlite aluminum or micarta handles that are extremely ergonomic, from this back swell here with this nice little back spacer to the jimping on the handle, which you'll find in 2 places. So this knife is extremely grippy, whether you're using it to make detail cuts or you're using it as just a regular cutter. It's got a very nice, deep, hollow ground blade that is super slicey, which is something I really like. A liner lock that works very well, and it just does what it's supposed to do. It cuts good stuff. It's got nice flats to set your sharpener up on. It's got a deep, deep hollow grind. The edges from the factory were done very well. The finger choil is both jimped on the scales and in the choil itself. So it's a dedicated choil with the jimping, both for your thumb and for your forefinger up here. You can tell that it's deliberate, so it gives you great stability in holding the knife. And then again, the swells of the handle and the little finger places, for me, that's the second finger placement. Some people might find that a little restricting. I don't, and I don't see why anybody really would. It just kind of gives your hand, it just runs along the lines of your hand. So for me, it seems like an extremely well thought out design. Deep carry clip. You've got these off color back spacers that have lanyard holes built into them. They're G10, I believe. There's a black one on the Richlite version. There's a blue one on the black G10 version. They just basically a back spacer with a lanyard hole if you like lanyards. Nice deep carry clip. These guys go in and out of pocket very easily. Even if you've got rough pockets, those lips just go right over. Full deep carry coverage. Let's get some paper and some cardboard and see how they cut. That's the AEBL. Again, it's a hollow ground, nice sharpening choil. This is the 14C. They're just, I mean, the blade geometry more than the blade steel is what I think makes this such an efficient little cutter. And it is that. Got a really nice tip if you're going to do those detail cuts. And you've got the jimping to give you that really press down if you're cutting rope or you're cutting cord or you're cutting hoses or something where you're having to do that rock cut. That just gives you really good purchase for that. And again, the blade is just dynamite. The Richlite seems to be done very well. I don't have a ton of experience with Richlite. I would probably say that is the material that I've had the least amount of experience with in terms of owning it. But it's very nice. It's got some micro texturing on it. feels very light, but it feels stable. And again, the knife just operates so well. The G10 AEBL is money. It's a little bit heavier. We'll get some weights here in a second and see if it indeed is heavier or if the Richlite just feels lighter to me, which I think it is just based on the colors there. So you've got, not the colors, the composition there, but you've got a black pivot collar to match the black back spacer, lanyard hole, where on the G10 you have a blue. I'm not exactly sure about the aluminum, but we'll leave a link for that so you guys can look at it. On the show side, you do have Kizer, and then you've got Seagull and the blade steel. This one's AEBL. This one's 14C28N. I have the impression that this is an internal design because there's no designer on the website associated with it. There's no designer that's listed on the specs. So I'm guessing it is an internal Kizer design, but it's done very well, guys. And I mean, regardless of what you're cutting, and I've cut a lot with it, it's just a great little cutter. I had the the AEBL longer. I've cut with this one longer, but they both, again, blade geometry, I think, is 9/10 of the equation. I have not sharpened either of these yet. Hopefully I'll get them to a place where they need to be sharpened, but right now they just need to be cleaned up. They've got a little tape on them. And that's about it. But let's do a couple of quick size comparisons, and then we'll get some sizes for you guys. Get a weight, see if they are indeed the same weight, and we'll move on. So Benchmade Bug Out's probably going to be our closest competitor to show you what size range this is in. I won't even break out the pair of tube because this is a little bit shorter than the Bug Out. I'm guessing probably about 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch. There is a Sharpie marker just to give you an idea on overall length. If you're not good at reading tape measures like me, I'm not that spatial. I have to see something. So if we were going to take this out and measure it, we would see that this little guy is going to come in right at 7 inches overall. It's a 7-inch knife, 3-inch blade, over 2.5-inch cutting area. But you've got this nice choil here as well as your sharpening choil. And then your internal handle is 3 inches, which I would never use, right there. And then the internal handle to the front of that finger choil is 4 inches. So you've got a 4-inch grip from right here to back here. You know, I don't know if big sausage fingers would be comfortable there. I would think they would. I mean, this knife seems to be set up for that finger choil, both with the jimping on the scales and on the choil itself. I find it very comfortable. But again, check that out. Again, if you buy from most people and it turns out that it's going to be a little smaller than you thought, or your finger doesn't fit in there the way you thought, you can always send it back. That's usually the case with most people I buy knives from. But again, I don't think that choil is going to be limiting. It is a smaller knife, 7 inches. So, you know, if you're looking for a 3.5-inch, 4-inch blade, it might not fit that bill. But for an EDC knife, I think this thing's fantastic. And the budget range, for example, I think the Micarta and the Richlite in 14Cs right under 70 bones. I think the aluminum with 14Cs right under 80 bones. And I think this one's a couple of dollars under 70 bones. I think this one's $1 less than the 14C for the AEBL. But I think this is an Amazon exclusive. Again, I'll try to leave some links both for Amazon and where you can find these other models. But yeah, they're a really, really cool knife. I'll get a couple of thicknesses for you. We'll weigh them, and then we will be gone. But I'm a big fan of the Seagull. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. 0.1115 0.1115 thickness, and then behind the edge, and I'm not great at getting this dimension, but I'll do my best, 0.0245 or 0.0, hold on a second. See, I never know when I lose that top of that bevel. About 0.15, 0.015. And then the handle thickness, I'm guessing, is going to be right around 1/2 inch, and it is 0.47. 0.47. They're exactly the same thickness, exactly the same makeup, even though the blade steel is different. The dimensions are going to be the same. What I'm curious about is the weight. Now we got a 3-inch blade. I think these are both going to be light knives. I think they're both going to exactly 3.05. Perfect for the 3-inch blade. 2.75. So I thought the Richlite would be a little lighter than the G10, and it is. I'm guessing the aluminum might be just a little bit heavier, but I'm not sure. That's just a guess. But guys, this is the Kizer Seagull. I think it is a winner. I think it may be my favorite budget knife so far this year. And again, that's because of the multiple deployments, all being very crisp, the deep hollow ground blade, the choices of blade steel, and most importantly, I think those ergonomics are just money for a small EDC knife for under $100. But guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Special thank you to all my channel members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to say thank you to anyone who comes in and watches my knife and EDC content. Thank you. If you're so inclined, please hit that subscribe button, that bell notification icon. But most importantly, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your hearts and choose to bait, not hate. I love you all. Peace.